Tell me about your perspective on aliens. I love this question. Welcome back to Ask a question time with me. Okay, we're gonna jump straight in today. Last time it was so much fun and there was so many good questions, so many good answers. Jumping straight in, let's do this. So the first question is, how do I combine my business with my personal brand? I loved this question. Now I'm going to keep it really simple for you and tell you that your business is your personal brand. So I talk about this a lot in my courses, that as businesses right now, in this way the world is currently, we are our business. So us are our business and we are our personal brand. They are the same thing. So we want to make sure that our business is a brand. Now, when you think of a brand, you think of things like colors and your face and a logo and consistency and familiarity across the whole thing. So a way you could combine this together is that you would have your business. So in this case, I think you're a coach or a network marketer or something similar to that. So no matter what you are, a healer or a coach, no matter what, and someone who's listening to this as well, that you get that and you combine it with being a personal brand. So a personal brand is connecting with your audience, is showing up as you, is having it feel and look like you, is showing your face. You are the brand. Another thing I like to think of is if I look at your feed, if I look at a photo or your story, I should know it's you who is posting without even looking to see if it's your handle or your display picture or whatever it is. I should just know it's you by how you're posting, the colors you're using, the words you're using, all of that. So the easiest way for you to start combining both would be to take your business and take yourself and mesh them together and start to share things about you, connection, character content that is about you in your business so people can get to know you and you can build that brand. The next question was a bit of fun. The question is, are you ready for it? Tell me about your perspective on aliens. I love this question. If you're not into this stuff, you can skip forward. But if you are anything like me, then you are into this. So my perspective on aliens. I'm not gonna go super deep because these are quick answers, but my perspective is that we're all part everything. So we are part alien, we are part angel, we are part fairy, we are part all different beings in having this human experience. So we actually all have a galactic family, whether we've come in contact with them or not. We actually are all part of some galactic federation, which is super cool. And you can get in touch with them and you can use them to help you work through this human experience and guide you and support you. I also believe there is definitely loads of alien life out there. I think it's crazy to think, wild to think that we humans are the only ones having an experience. I believe they're mostly higher beings, so they're highly evolved, meaning they don't have the same kind of conflicts and things like that that the human experience has. So that's a little bit of my perspective on aliens. I think that also I don't want to say too much to get this taken down. I also believe that the media can kind of put this strange perspective for us on what aliens really are, and they're really just another divine being working with us, through us, they're around us. Yeah, and of course, like anything, there can be darkness in that group as well. Like anything there's always lightness and darkness. So a very interesting concept. I definitely love the rabbit hole of aliens, but I mostly love it looking at it from a really spiritual perspective, which is the lens I look at most things through. So that means less from this perspective of like, you know, some of the documentaries out there, which I love, that are a bit more like calculated and break down the experience of them and flying saucers and and a little bit more from this experience of like a really spiritual perspective. Their energy is around us. How can we connect with their energy? Where are they guiding us to? Who is your galactic family? All of that. So anyway, I hope that gives you all something to ponder and explore. Okay, the next question was also really cool. If you had to pick one thing that you talked about in business that would be your favorite, what would it be? Awesome question. So so many things. Like, it's funny because I heard this question earlier and I tried to think of the answer. I've got it. I think it would be the way we can mix spirituality and business. I just think this is such a cool way to look at it. It's almost like the mixture of masculine and feminine, the light and dark, or the doing and the being, the pleasure and the action taker. So I love getting people to look at business this way, and I love talking about it because I think it's really undervalued and not spoken about anywhere near enough. So this looks like the fact that our businesses are energy like we are. They have a soul. They have a frequency to them. When we're in a certain frequency, when we're thinking certain thoughts, we can be a magnet. We can attract all that we desire in our business. But on the other hand, we have to take action. We have to be doing things to have certain things happen. We have to be taking aligned action. We need to be showing up and doing human things in this 3D reality as well. We need structure. And I love to say we need to create a structure and then we can flow within that. But what I see a lot of the time is we're just trying to like flow and let it happen, but then there's no structure at all. A business does require structure, and then we can flow and use our intuition and our femininity within that structure. And I find that's just such a cool way to create business and do business, and a really undervalued way as well. So my favorite thing would be talking about how you can combine spirituality and the practical world together to create a really thriving business that's creating and considering both sides. So cool. The next question is, what is your spiritual history? I love this. A very esoteric video for today. Wow, this is such a big question. I don't even know where to begin. It might need a whole video of its own. Let me know if I should do a whole video on this. So I'll tell a little story actually. So a few years ago, I was between careers. I was actually a fashion designer, and then I packed up that career because I felt this deep knowing and whisper that something else was out there for me. And I closed that business, which was a really big decision, really emotional, and I promised myself I'd give myself 3 months before I started anything else. And inside that 3 months, I actually started to reflect and be meditating a lot, and I was practicing being a lot, I was journaling a lot. And then I actually realized I could hear, see, and feel things that were not in this realm. And that really caught me off guard to start with. It was actually kind of scary. And then I realized I could develop this beautiful ability that is all innately within us, but had been given to me at this moment to really harness. And I ended up starting to practice sessions on friends and card pulling and psychic work, and I discovered that I could really harness my gift of psychic and mediumship work, and I could use this to share information from other realms, to work with guides, to guide people to their answers. And I ended up being, at the time, I was actually an intuitive reader, an intuitive energy worker, and it was such a beautiful journey. I ended up working in that space for about a year and a bit until I focused more on the coaching realm, which I'm in now. But I'm really starting to bring both worlds together as well, like really being able to gift people this intuitive experience with me, this psychic experience with me, whilst adapting it to coaching in our businesses. So super, super special. So essentially that kind of journey really led me on this whole spiritual experience and this spiritual awakening, if you will, to a really deep level, which also comes with a lot of darkness. And if you've experienced this before, it's so normal, maybe you're in it now, that we experience this darkness with that. And in that darkness, we can almost really go on this deep inward journey of like, you know, who am I and what's the point, and everything I thought was true was not truth, and oh my gosh. So it really sent me on this little bit of this spiral, and it was really hard to be human at that point. And then it kind of all came full circle to where I am today, being able to be in both worlds and deeply understand what it means to be spiritual and to understand spirituality and to be it, not have to preach it, but to really be it in my bones. So I would say that's kind of how my spiritual experience unfolded. I love sharing that story. It's actually been so long since I've really talked about that journey and that story. I'd love to hear from you, your spiritual experiences and your any spiritual questions you might have, or your experience with your unfoldings, or anything else you'd like to know about me, about my spiritual journey. I think that story really captures it really beautifully, because it was such an unbecoming of who I thought I was, and this real journey to who I became, and more so who I like remembered to be. And it's all within us, and it's just an unraveling. I think sometimes we can put spirituality on this pedestal, or we can say it's like pulling cards and meditating and this, and I really just think it's being and who we be and how we be, and remembering who we are at a deeper level. And I think that's the most spiritual thing we can do, and seeking truth, and always seeking. And I'm always the seeker. I never know when it's right or wrong, and I'm just always seeking within me, within the world. And I think that's a really beautiful place to be. I just loved these questions, and I love sharing them with you. They are all the questions from this round. I will share again on my Instagram for a bunch of questions, and we will do this again in early 2022. How crazy is that? Oh my gosh. So I'm so excited to see you back here. If you have any questions, or you'd like me to elaborate on anything at all, please drop it below in the comments and I will check it out. Remember to like, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you here again. I'm super excited to keep answering your beautiful questions. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you would love to see more, click the link below and check out my free masterclass on how to go from 0 to 5K per month in your online coaching business, using my unique method of combining both spirituality with business strategies. See you in there.